Greetings, YouTube. When I was 21, I think, I did a 14-day fast. It was a test of discipline, possibly just for a little cleansing. Mostly I wanted to see if I could do it. And the one thing I hadn't really counted on was that after a certain point without eating, you begin to consume your own body. It's called reaching a state of ketosis. And the worst side effect of ketosis is the absolutely most horrible breath you have ever experienced in your life. I was brushing my teeth 8 times a day. My breath was just horrible. All I took in for that 14-day period was water, and a fair amount of it, because I was hungry. And while I experienced hunger, real hunger, for the first time in my life, I knew it was going to end. I knew that after 14 days, I'd go back to eating food, and everything would be just fine. And I can pretty much never do that again. I'm diabetic now, and I need to eat regular meals. I usually eat 3 to 4 times a day, and I have to have specific kinds of foods. So my diet has become very important in part of my life. And going 14 days without food would very likely kill me. My blood sugar would be just horrible. But it gave me a taste, if you'll pardon the pun, of hunger. But never true hunger. I never wondered where my next meal was coming from. During those 14 days, I was surrounded with food. I just chose not to eat it. But there are people in America who don't have that choice, who aren't surrounded by food, who don't have access, or whose access is unstable, and they're never really sure where the next meal is coming from. And I think you could arguably say that America is the most powerful nation that there has ever existed on our planet. Certainly the most powerful nation today, even though our economy is crashing and our reputation around the world is in shambles. We still have lots of power, and yet we also still have hunger. We have people who are starving, children who don't know if they're going to get to eat the next day, the elderly who have to balance out buying food or their medication, people living on the streets, people who are working poor, people who are even doing better than that but have some crushing bills and are too proud to reach out and get help. And it breaks my heart, and it makes me angry. Healthcare issue is one thing, and it's a horrible situation in America, and it needs to be fixed. But hunger? In the 21st frigging century, and we still have hunger? It isn't that there isn't enough food. We have the highest obesity rate anywhere on the planet. It isn't that it's readily available. It's that the food is priced out of people's ability to pay. And particularly good food. The cheapest, most inexpensive food available in America is also the lowest quality. The stuff that gives you high blood pressure and diabetes and gout and all these other wonderful things that fatty, salty, poorly made food will give you. Good, healthy food is more expensive, and it shouldn't be. Everyone should have access. And it shouldn't be an energy problem, because the sun provides our planet with more than enough energy than all of our needs. Every 1 second of sunlight is enough energy to power the human needs for a year. We just have a hard time of converting that from the sun into power and into food. Some people say that we have to change the way we have our diets because we need to eat more vegetable matter and less meat. Because in America we do eat a whole lot of meat. I personally cut down my meat consumption, but I still eat meat, or fish at least, probably 3 to 4 days a week. Though I'm eating chicken or tuna, things like that. As opposed to a lot of beef. Don't eat much beef anymore, and I actually don't eat a whole lot of pork any longer either. It's kind of a special treat for me. But we shouldn't have anybody be hungry. No child should ever wonder where their next meal is coming from. Should never go to sleep with the pang of hunger in their stomach, or with that light-headed feel you get because you haven't eaten. Children should feel joy. They should be happy. They shouldn't suffer because they're hungry. And we in America really need to do something about that.